My dad's new wife moved into our house before the ink on the divorce papers dried. I was 16, staring at the ceiling of my new dorm room 1,000 miles away, wondering how my mom's laughter used to fill that same house. Now, it's her Lydia rearranging my childhood like it's a garage sale. I'm Emma, and this is the story of how my half-brother, a kid I barely knew, turned my world upside down. It started when I left for college, escaping the wreckage of my parents' marriage. Dad, a man who once taught me how to ride a bike, had traded our family for Lydia, a woman with sharp smiles and sharper ambition. Within a year of the divorce, they were married, and soon after, they had Ethan, my half-brother. I kept my distance, not out of spite, but because every call home felt like stepping on glass. College was my sanctuary. I threw myself into late-night study sessions and new friends, pretending the past didn't exist. But last summer, a letter arrived at my dorm, scrawled in a child's unsteady handwriting. Ethan, only 7, had written to me. Emma, I found something. It's about Dad. You need to come home. My stomach churned. What could a kid know that I didn't? I flew back to Colorado, the mountains looming like old ghosts. The house smelled different lavender candles instead of Mom's cinnamon. Lydia greeted me with a hug that felt like a performance, her eyes scanning me like I was competition. Dad was worse, his smile was tired, his jokes forced. Ethan, though, was a whirlwind. He grabbed my hand, dragging me to his room, where he pulled out a shoebox stuffed with papers. I found these in the attic, he whispered, his brown eyes wide with a mix of fear and excitement. The papers were letters, dozens of them, written by Dad to Mom during their marriage. They weren't love letters. They were apologies, confessions of late nights at the office that weren't about work, promises to be better that he never kept. My hands shook as I read them. Ethan watched me, his small face crumpled with worry. Is Dad a bad person, he asked. I didn't know how to answer. I confronted Dad that night. The living room was suffocating, the air thick with tension. You cheated on Mom, I said, holding up the letters. Lydia gasped, her hand flying to her chest, but Dad just stared at the floor. It was a long time ago, he mumbled. A long time ago. I was 12 when he started pulling away, when Mom's smiles turned brittle. Lydia's eyes darted between us, her perfect facade cracking. I didn't know, she whispered, but I wasn't sure I believed her. Ethan, hiding behind the couch, started crying. I knelt beside him, my anger dissolving into something softer. You're not bad, I told him. None of this is your fault. But he shook his head, tears streaming. I wanted you to know the truth. I thought it would fix things. My heart broke. He was just a kid, trying to piece together a family he barely understood. The next week was a storm. Lydia moved out for a few days, her suitcase slamming the door behind her. Dad begged me to understand, his voice raw with regret. I was lost. Emma, I made mistakes, but mistakes don't erase a decade of lies. I wanted to scream, to throw the letters in his face, but Ethan's small hand in mine stopped me. He deserved better than our chaos. I stayed for him. We spent afternoons building forts, reading comics, pretending the world wasn't falling apart. One night, he asked, will you hate Dad forever? I looked at him, his face so much like Dad's when he was younger, and I realized hate wasn't the answer. It was heavy, exhausting, and it wouldn't bring Mom back. I don't hate him, I said. I'm just figuring out how to forgive him. Lydia came back, and we had a family meeting, awkward, messy, real. Dad admitted everything, his voice breaking as he apologized to Ethan, to me, to the ghost of Mom. Lydia cried, not for show this time, but because she saw the man she loved unravel. I didn't trust her, not yet, but I saw her try, for Ethan's sake. I hoped she meant it. I returned to college, but I called Ethan every week. He sent me drawings, silly stories, and once a photo of him and Dad fixing a bike together. It stung, but it also felt like hope. Dad was trying, 2 writing me letters, not apologies, but stories about his day, about Ethan, about wanting to rebuild. I didn't reply often, but I kept them all. Months later, Ethan sent me a new letter. I told Dad I want you to come to my birthday. He said yes. Will you? I smiled, tears blurring the page. He was still trying to fix us, in his own small way. I booked a flight home. This isn't a fairy tale. My family's still broken in places, jagged edges that might never fit right. But Ethan's courage, his stubborn, childish need to dig up the truth made us face it. Forgiveness isn't a moment. It's a choice. Over and over. I'm learning that because of a 7-year-old who refused to let secrets bury us. What do you think, was Ethan right to uncover the past? Or should some truths stay hidden? Share your thoughts. I want to hear them.